Hello and welcome to BharatShakti. I'm Brig S K Chatterji. We're going to be talking about Op Sindoor once again today. Today, our discussion will be on NavIC system. Let me explain what's NavIC a little bit. NavIC is about navigation with Indian satellite constellation. To give you a little more understanding of the NavIC system, we use the normal GPS system for most of our activities whenever we go around. This is a similar system which also can be used instead of a GPS system. This is an Indian system equivalent, we can say. Now, I have with me Col Velan. Col Velan is the founder and the managing director of Elena Geo. His company is one who's into NavIC systems in a big way, and he's the gentleman who's going to put us through the whole system and tell us how could this system have, or it has perhaps already, helped the Indian Armed Forces in winning this less than 7 days battle that they had to go through in order to come out victorious. Welcome to BharatShakti, Col Velan.
Thank you, sir. uh, Good afternoon,
Right,
viewers. Yeah, uh,
right,
sir,
Col
if you
Velan. My first
please,
question to you is, what
sir,
is the NavIC system, if you can explain to all of us so that we are all on the same page? And
sir.
what are some of the similar systems used worldwide?
NavIC is a global navigation satellite system. We have it is similar to the Navstar constellation of US, which we call as GPS, Global Positioning System. Similar to the American thing, we have the Russian GLONASS with us, Chinese Baidu is there, European Union is putting up Galileo, Japan is putting up QZS systems. These are all independent systems using which we can get our position accurately on imaginary sphere called WJS-84. From that, we translate to the surface of Earth. NavIC is one size system, which is supposed to be having initially 7 satellites, then increased to 11 satellites. Initially, it was conceived with two transmission bands, L5 and S. Now they are trying to introduce one more band in L1. So in future, NavIC will have L1, L5, and S band transmissions. Each satellite will transmit all these three signals. Using this, we can get very accurate positioning on the surface of Earth. This is what has been used by our armed forces recently in the current conflict that is there.
Right. Thank you for introducing the system to all of our viewers. If I can ask you, how many satellites are really there on top? And comparatively, let's say, if you can tell me a little bit about how many satellites are there on top for any other system that you talked about. And also,
So,
what is the coverage of NavIC system? Does it cover the entire Earth, or does it cover only a part of it?
so today we have about 9 satellites which are there, NavIC satellites that are there, IRNSS satellites are there. Out of that, 7 we can use for L5 signal, and 4 we can use S band signal for X band signals. So in all, 7 satellites are functioning. 4 are giving S band and L5 band, and rest 3 are giving only L5 band. Along with IRNSS, we have Gagan, which gives you L1 band and gives you an augmentation over GPS. So both put together, it is navigation with Indian constellation of satellites. So both the systems, Indian system, we can integrate and then use it for our positioning, sir. Today, the coverage is around the accurate coverage, we call it, as stated by the uh, ISRO, which is a system, what is which is a organization to manage the system and maintain the system, what is called a system operator. It is around 1,500 kilometers around Indian subcontinent and extends from Africa to Australia. It can give you 6-meter accuracy. The system can give you 6-meter accuracy between these two places, Africa to Australia and whatever in between. We have seen 3 satellites reception in Paris. We have checked 3 to 4 satellite coverage there in London also towards the north. though it is supposed to give you very accurate coverage up to 40 degrees north latitude to 40 degrees south latitude, but coverage is there even in London, in uh, Paris. Here people have tested, and certain companies are working with us. We have seen good coverage in Mauritania, that is Africa, western end of Africa. We have seen good coverage in Australia also, where we sent our equipment, basically vehicle tracking systems. We have sent it to them, and we have checked the parameters online. It gives you good coverage there also. Middle East, very good coverage is there. Southeast Asia, very good coverage is there. So this is how NavIC today is working, sir.
Now, when you say 7 meters cover accuracy, supposing if we were to compare it with GPS, whatever is available to us on the street, I'm not talking about the military bands, etc. I'm talking about for civilian use. Then, can you give us some sort of a comparison of these two accuracies?
Sure. GPS, we are using L1 band, which is available free of cost, as it is where it is basis being given by American government. The signal or the system assures you only 300 meters accuracy in the system. From 300 meters, using different techniques, we reduce or we increase the accuracy up to 10 meters. We cannot increase it beyond 10 meters. Whereas in case of IRNSS system, it is supposed to give you 4-meter accuracy within our area of responsibility, that is 1,500 kilometers area, 4 meter. Similar to what people have done from 300 meter to 10 meter, we can reduce or increase accuracy from 4 meter to around 40 centimeters. We have demonstrated systems with 30 centimeter accuracy and 50 centimeter accuracy. That is dynamic accuracy without any additional systems to help it. For example, in terms of GPS, we have a CARS network. We have DGPS setups that are there. We have assisted techniques using mobile communication towers, which helps you to increase accuracy. In our case, we don't need any of this. NavIC system per se can give you 1 meter accuracy, what we call 1 meter CEP, that is 50% of time the signal will be there within 1 meter from a known point. We have checked it. We keep checking it continuously. There is a station in Ramya Institute of Technology. We have placed 3 stations on our office. We keep verifying it. 100% time it doesn't go beyond 1 meter. That's the efficacy of NavIC.
Well, thank you for explaining that. And let's also talk a little bit about your product. What is your product that is of use to the army, and also perhaps most of these products being dual use, also of use in the dual use civilian sector?
So first, we have end-to-end everything that you need to adopt NavIC, from the antenna, from the processor, what is generally called as chip. We call it a processor because it does 5-6 main functionalities. Then we have a module where there's additional controller which governs this processor also. Then we have different types of equipment. We have tracking server, map server, and an application server to provide user whatever service he requires today, whatever is getting through GPS, we can provide everything with NavIC. When I say NavIC, I'm talking about multi-GNSS, which uses IRNSS satellites, Gagan satellites, GPS satellites, and GLONASS satellites. Basically, these 3 systems, GPS, GLONASS, and NavIC, are cleared by international agencies to be used together. In our region, all these 3 are very well prevalent, and using this, we get very high accuracy. Now, this can be used in our system. Unlike GPS and GLONASS, they are products of Cold War. GPS was created during Cold War to support flights, their fighter aircrafts move from America to NATO countries to support to them. Countering this, Russians have put up GLONASS. Unlike this, our NavIC is created for public use. That's why there is no element of denial in these signals, free signals that are being provided to the public. Free signals are also very accurate, like the military signals. In military signals are what we call restricted service. We have some other additional data which will be useful for restricted users in the country. So what we have is that first we have a handle navigator, which is a replacement for all foreign manufactured devices what we are using today. This navigator, we can upload thematic maps. For example, if you are in a forest department, you can upload your beat map into it and track exactly where you're going. Then if you're a trucker, you can upload trekking map into this yourself. We have made a device similar to this. Similarly, army people can upload their maps, which they use in military purposes. So this is one device. Another device is that we have made a device which will take inputs from a goniometer, from a laser rangefinder, from a thermal imager, and give position of a target within 1 meter accuracy at 5 kilometers. Same device can be used for accurate mapping in place of today DGPS and rover setup. This is just cost to cost. It is just one third or one fourth of the cost of the DGPS setup. And it is using this setup, we can survey at a very fast rate. Using that handle navigator, which I explained earlier, we have measured in Kerala what is done by 33 man days of effort can be done in half an hour. We have demonstrated to them. In Bangalore, we also demonstrated to the town planning people. There was a disputed land with three, four people claiming different part of the small plot. We have used our handle navigator to go around and show that exact alignment which coincided with the data held with the town planning people, and this was used for verification for others. Similarly, Dakshin Bharat area, there was this race, they were putting up a racetrack around island grounds. There, the area commander had a doubt of about some what is it land being given to the public use. So we verified it, and then we brought out there is a 5 kilometer, 5 acres of land dispute, or 5 acres of land is being given that side or this side. There was a problem of about five acres. So based on our equipment, people from Delhi came. They measured the distances. The DEO from Delhi came. They measured and then handed over the right property to the Tamil Nadu government. So this is another thing which is today all through the country where we are doing automation or digitization of land records. This equipment can help. We have got drone navigation units, which can be used for agriculture. At the same time, we can use it in the military also for accurate, for accurate targeting or accurate mapping. Here we can use it for spraying pesticide accurately in small land holdings or along the hillocks. We can use it. Then we have clocks, which can be used in all institutions around the country because NavIC timing is the best timing in the world. Our clock maintained by ISRO scientists is 10 nanoseconds stable. GPS clock, because it's a old technology, 80s technology it is, the clock is not so stable. And we cannot use it for communication with 5G and 6G. We cannot use GPS-based communication for 5G and 6G because here more stringent stability is required in 5G and 6G. But NavIC can be used directly in 5G, 6G, sir. Like we are working with telecom standards definition society of India to bring out system how this NavIC timing can be used there. Similarly, with NavIC timing servers, all our networks can use shift to NavIC timing servers. Server cost will reduce, the size of the server will reduce. Because in case of GPS-based timing server, we have a hold over feature with a very high precision a crystal clock, like a rubidium clock or a cesium clock. That is not required if you are using NavIC-based timing. So these are certain products that we have for public use per se, can be adapted in the defense forces also, sir.
I'll switch over entirely to Operation Sindoor and confine myself initially only to artillery targeting. Like you're talking about accuracy. Accuracy is extremely important when you acquire an artillery target for the guns to be firing on them. And the first salvo of the guns landing straight on the target because it's the first salvo which creates the biggest havoc in the enemy lines. Now, is your instrument capable of enhancing the accuracy of artillery targeting?
Yes, sir. We have been working with the Directorate General of Artillery and ADG Military Survey to make this, whatever you're asking for, a reality. Basically, we have to bring everyone in the same grid. Even the enemy area, we have to bring them into the same grid as our artillery guns so that effective fire can be brought down to them. So that is possible with the new series of maps which our military survey people are now getting into the armed forces. That map talks about the surface area, sir. Whereas any GNSS system gives you latitude, longitude on an imaginary sphere called WGS84. From there to convert to the surface of the area of the earth on which the rounds will fall. there is some conversion required. So we have been working closely with ADG Military Survey, and we have now perfected the conversion formulas and the conversion parameters. In addition to that, since NavIC gives you 1 meter accuracy, we can now think of first round effectiveness, not salvo, sir. First round, one round gunfire means it will be directly bang on the target. People have used it in our field firing during some trials and all. They've used it and they found this to be very effective. I mean, people could not believe. Then they asked that, how are you getting it to the RTOP there? The RTOP showed our equipment. This is using this, I'm getting this thing equipment. So it is very effective, sir. And this concept has been used in Akash Tir in blocking their enemy fire and to direct our missiles exactly to the Pakistani side.
That's where my question lies. Next question lies, and that is whatever photographs we saw in the briefings by the DGMOs of all the three services. It was very accurate fire that was shown, and it was shown in very great detail. Now, how far would have NavIC assisted them in really acquiring this target in order to achieve the kind of accuracy that they were ultimately able to produce on ground?
So with NavIC, you can target a small loophole which is 3 feet by 2 feet. With NavIC at 40, 50 kilometers away also. Exactly you can target it. They have targeted doors. This is possible only because NavIC gives this high accuracy during flight for the missiles and all. So their flight position gets corrected just by using IR and by inertial navigation system or by using a what is a IMUs based devices. This cannot be achieved. With NavIC superimposing or governing the location of these what missiles or any other fast moving body, we can accurately target the locations the way they have done it. And whatever you've seen in the map is a vindication. It vindicates our claim so far that NavIC is the best. Today, NavIC is the best system available. Of course, we can use it with any other system to increase the availability or accuracy.
Right, Colonel Velan, one last question, and that is what needs to be done actually in order to make this coverage even better, both in terms of quality of coverage as also in terms of area of coverage.
So first, from the system operator side, we need to have a set of constellation which will give L1, L5, and S-band. L5 and S-band are very vital for Indian subcontinent and for the equatorial region. So we need to have at least 11 satellites covering our position, giving full service. Then our troops that are there deployed for UN operations also can benefit out of it. Whatever we are giving aid to certain countries when they are in need, even for Turkey, we are given the aid. Our aircrafts can be used, can be directed very clearly to their airports because in case of an earthquake, airports also will get damaged. There you need very high accuracy for aircrafts to land. Our people can use it from Africa to Australia. First thing, as a system, we need to increase our system at the earliest to give these services faster, sir. Next is all of us should adopt NavIC in a very big way. Mostly the armed forces in any country, any new technology getting inducted, this has got dual use. Armed forces first pick it up, then civilians start using it. So in our case also, armed forces should adopt NavIC in a very big way. There are very many equipment what are getting manufactured. It's not only our company, there are many companies they are into this NavIC domain today. They Indian armed forces should make use of all these facilities that are available to adopt NavIC and remove any other device which is using only GPS or GLONASS. They should remove those devices because our devices per se will use American satellites and the Russian satellites. So we have to leverage these advantages immediately. Same way, government has created certain policies. It's time to enforce these policies so that Indian public start using NavIC. If NavIC is used properly, we can save our wastages by 50% and increase efficiency by 30%, virtually doubling the output. This idea was first tested or brought out by two Australian scientists, Dempster and Reeds, where they tested with GPS type of equipment. But then they found GPS is not all that very beneficial or accurate in Australia. Now they're going for another system. Similarly, in our country also, I have tested it practically in 3-4 mines and deduced this effect that using same set of resources, we can double our output if we use NavIC properly. That's an idea, sir.
Right. Thank you, Colonel Villan. Thank you so much for having given us such a lucid talk about NavIC.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity also, sir.
And thank you, viewers. That's how the defense industry is helping the defense forces in achieving their objective. I hope you enjoyed the show. Do log in like this whenever you have time, and you will find interesting issues. Not exactly just about the war, but all the support that we've got from our defense industry also being packed into the into our episodes for your consumption. Thank you.